Fortnite's HappyGal situation is getting blown way out of proportion, but I do think there's a bigger problem here that people are missing. So if you haven't seen what happened, HappyGal is obviously one of the biggest Fortnite creators out there, and she was one of the creators who got to play Chapter 7 Season 4 early. And before the season even released, she was basically praising it like crazy. She said Fortnite had outdone themselves, and obviously that got people even more excited for the season. Then the season actually came out, people started playing it for themselves, and everything was fine until this clip went viral.
Should we go? What? What, my shotgun? Ah! Every single weapon in this game sucks! It all sucks! Wrap it up. Wrap it up, Fortnite. Wrap it up.
She gets eliminated, gets frustrated, and immediately starts saying that every weapon in the game sucks and Fortnite needs to wrap it up. And look, I watched the clip, she missed a lot of shots, like a lot. So I'm not even going to sit here and pretend the game was the reason she died. Sometimes you just missed. It happens. Even with me, I play on really high ping and I deal with packet loss sometimes. And I still know when I miss a shot that it was my mistake. I'm not going to die and immediately blame Fortnite for everything. But at the same time, I also don't think we should treat one angry clip like she just exposed herself as some fake creator, because let's be real, how many times have you died in Fortnite, gotten annoyed and immediately said this game is so bad? I know I've done it. You win a game and suddenly Fortnite is the best game ever made. You lose the next game and suddenly Epic needs to delete the entire game. That's just how people are when they are tilted. And Happy actually explained that this is basically how she plays. She said she can hate the game after getting eliminated and then love it again after winning the next game, and that she's very emotional and dramatic with the reactions because that's part of her content. So I can understand that side of it. But here's where I think this whole situation gets interesting. The bigger issue isn't really HappyGal, it's these Fortnite early access events. Epic has been giving selected creators the opportunity to play upcoming Fortnite content before everyone else. And from a business perspective, I completely understand why. You take some of the biggest Fortnite creators in the world, let them experience the new season early, give them exclusive footage, and then when the season launches, you already have all of these huge creators uploading content. That is free promotion and a massive amount of attention for the new season. So obviously I understand why Epic does it, and I understand why creators want to go, but there's one problem. How honest can your first reaction really be when you know Epic is the one inviting you? I'm not saying Epic pays creators to say the season is good. I'm not saying Happy was paid to praise season 4, and I'm definitely not saying she secretly hated the season and lied about it. That's not what I think happened. What I mean is that if you're one of these creators and Epic invites you out to play the new season early, there is naturally going to be a thought in the back of your mind that you don't want to completely trash the experience and potentially stop getting invited to these events. That doesn't mean Epic has to tell you that. It's just common sense. If somebody keeps inviting you to exclusive events and you start publicly destroying everything they show you, there's always the possibility that they stop inviting you. And because of that, I think these early reactions can naturally become more positive than they would be after someone has actually played the season normally for a week. And there's another really important part of this. When these creators are playing the game early, they are not experiencing Fortnite the same way we are. They are getting new content, everything is fresh, they are at Epic, they are surrounded by other creators, there is this whole exclusive event atmosphere, and when you're playing a brand new season against bots or in a controlled environment, of course the game is going to feel more fun. You're not dealing with the same sweaty lobbies, matchmaking, third partying, annoying metas, and all the other stuff that starts becoming obvious once the entire player base gets their hands on the game. That's why I think the first reaction to a new season should be taken with a little bit of caution. Not because the creators are necessarily lying, but because they simply haven't experienced the entire season yet. And that's where the Happy situation becomes kind of funny. She said Fortnite outdid themselves after playing early, then a little later she's raging because she died and saying all the weapons suck. Those two things can both exist. Maybe she genuinely loved the first few hours, maybe she genuinely hates certain things about the new season. That is completely possible. And honestly, I think people are making this way more serious than it needs to be. Twitter is acting like she got exposed for some massive conspiracy, when in reality she got mad after dying in Fortnite. That happens every single day. And yes, I do think she should take some responsibility for the actual clip because come on, she missed her shots. But I also don't think that means her entire opinion on season 4 is fake. At the same time, I do think this whole thing gives Epic and these creators something to think about. If Epic wants early access reactions to actually represent what players are going to experience, maybe these events needs to give creators a broader sample of the game. More creators, more playtime, more realistic matchmaking. And honestly, honestly, I think remote playtests could even make more sense in some cases, because Epic could get feedback from way more creators without everything being based around a small group of people going to one location and playing for a limited amount of time. Because the whole point should be feedback and promotion, not creating this huge wave of hype that sometimes gets followed by criticism a few days later. And I think that's the actual conversation we should be having. Not HappyGal is fake, not Happy isn't allowed to change her opinion, and definitely not harassing her because she complained about Fortnite. She can change her mind, she can get mad after dying, she can love one part of the season and hate another part. That's completely normal. But I do think the way Fortnite handles early access creator events can make those first reactions look more representative than they really are. So honestly, I think this entire situation is less about HappyGal and more about whether these early access events are actually giving us an honest picture of a new Fortnite season. Because at the end of the day, the only opinion that really matters is the one you form after actually playing the season yourself. So what do you guys think? Do you think Fortnite's early access creator events are a good idea, or do you think Epic should change the way they do them? Let me know in the comments.